Hello, and welcome to the Phantom Nights podcast, where we break down pop culture one Phantom at a time. My name is Dustin, the Star Wars guy, and today we're going to be breaking down the next issue in the War of the Bounty Hunters crossover comic series. And we're going to be talking about Star Wars 13, The Hunt for Han Solo. It was written by Charles Soule and illustrated by Ramon Rosales and Rachel Rosenberg. And it was published by Marvel Comics on May 12th, 2021, of this couple months ago. May the Force be with you. So to kick things off, we'll start with the opening crawl. The Rebel fleet awaits word from their missing comrades, Shara Bey, lost on Starlight Squadron's first mission, and Han Solo, frozen in carbonite and in the hands of the infamous bounty hunter, Boba Fett. A friendly signal from the Imperial Star Destroyer Tarkin's Will reaches the Redemption in the middle of the night. Shara is alive, hiding in the depths of the ship and gleaning information about the Imperial systems. But the Rebellion still seeks Boba Fett and his cargo. And here we have it. The story starts off with Luke aboard the Rebel fleet about to initiate some training from those same training droids we see aboard the Millennium Falcon. Luke shows off his acrobatics by slicing through each droid one by one. During this, Luke thinks back to something Yoda told him. "You will know when you are calm, at peace." Just as he is in the zone, C-3PO interrupts him by asking for a moment of his time, and Luke faces C-3PO, and as the training wasn't complete, the last droid shoots at Luke, and Luke blocks the blast directly back at the training droid without looking, like a stud. C-3PO apologizes for distracting him, and Luke says a Jedi should be able to withstand bigger distractions than that. R2-D2 wishes to speak to him, and it regards the planet Elfranra, where Luke found his yellow lightsaber. Just as Luke was about to share his news, Chewbacca comes in and tells Luke about a contact he has on Nar Shaddaa, saying they spotted Boba Fett, who they think contains Han Solo in carbonite. Luke recommends Lando comes with because he would know the smuggler's planet like the back of his hand. But then C-3PO makes a good point that he isn't to be trusted, and that Han Solo wouldn't want to see the man responsible for his predicament after he comes out of carbonite. So Luke, Chewie, R2, and 3PO leave for Nar Shaddaa to find Han, and R2 and C-3PO have a little spat about the importance of R2's knowledge. He wanted to tell Luke, and 3PO thinks it's nonsense, but he doesn't know how important it really is. When they land, Chewie finds his contact, another Wookiee named Sagwa, that he helped save from slavery on the spice mine on Kessel from the Han Solo movie. Sagwa tells them that a Boba Fett-like character had recently won the championship and hasn't had any more bouts since. Luke notices the name Jango and says it's the wrong name, but looks exactly the same. They head to the information desk to get more information on this new champion. C-3PO mentions a few mottos from Nar Shaddaa, one being, "Nothing is free on Nar Shaddaa." Another is, "Learn to love the lies." Yet a third is, "Never tickle a hut." And when C-3PO tries to tell a fourth, Luke just shoves his hand in 3PO's face to shut up. Luke asks if the name of the champion was Boba, and the woman behind the desk responded with, "No, he used Jango," and Luke asked if there was any additional information and began to ask too many questions as the Kanji Club of Nar Shaddaa shows up looking for payment. The Hutts of Nar Kanji demanded that they go back to their place for further questioning. Luke, like the epic hero he is, ignites his lightsaber and says, "No, we're leaving, and you shouldn't try to stop us. I don't want to hurt you." The Kanji just laugh and say, "Just because you have a lightsaber doesn't make you a Jedi, boy." And boy, were they in for a surprise. Luke responds with, "I agree. It's because of something else entirely," hinting at the Force. The Kanji opens fire on them, and Luke, with swiftness, deflects the blaster shots with ease and shocks the Kanji. Then, one of the Kanji members remembers a bounty for a Jedi from the Empire, and they change their plan to kill the Wookiees and stun the Jedi. Sagwa finds a way out through a stairway and a corridor. C-3PO jinxes their survival by saying they finally are safe, at which Luke responds to, "It's a little early to be saying that." And they go through this back door, and as soon as they open it, they are met with an army of kanji. "Still feels a bit early, see what I mean?" Luke says to 3PO, and C-3PO responds with, "Ah." And Luke uses the Force to pull a land speeder towards them for an escape. And as Chewie pilots, they do manage to escape back to the Falcon. Luke and the gang are speeding towards the ship, and Luke calls for R2 to prep the ship for takeoff, and they get to the ship in time to take off without any complications. Now that things have settled down, Luke finally wants to know what R2 wanted to say before this mission, and C-3PO tells Luke that R2 contains the locations of former Jedi outposts that he got from his time on the Death Star. Luke is ecstatic about this and feels it was the Force showing his destiny and his path to become more wise in the ways of the Jedi. He tells R2, "Tell me everything." R2 gives him enough locations to be busy for decades and wonders everything that he will find. Just as he is in his thoughts and the potential knowledge that he can learn, 3PO interrupts yet again by saying General Organa says she needs them back ASAP, as they received a transmission about an unknown party that is in possession of Han Solo. So let's talk about some of the big issues in this, not big issues, but big important moments from this issue. The first one would probably be that we learned that Sagwa from Han Solo is actually still alive and a contact of Chewbacca. And then the second thing, which I think is even bigger, and I think there's many possibilities that could come from this, is that in Star Wars 13 that we just talked about here, is that Luke finds out from R2 that there's many Jedi outposts that he can go to and, learn from. And he says that he has enough knowledge and enough places to go for decades to come. So I think that'd be really cool to explore in a comic series or possibly a book or something along those lines. Maybe there's a comic series that happens after Return of the Jedi and before The Mandalorian, maybe in that 5 years. Maybe he goes to some of those Jedi outposts right after Return of the Jedi. Maybe that's kind of the next step for him. So I think that'd be really cool to see. So if you guys want to theorize about possibilities and possible outposts for him, let me know in the comments below. So let's get into the review of this comic. I think that the writing from this comic by Charles Soule was just another prime example of the Star Wars knowledge, and except for the Ifrona mention where Luke supposedly got his yellow lightsaber from, it's actually, he got it from another planet. I don't remember the name. Let me know in the comments if you know. But he posted on Twitter that he was trying to, rewrite the continuity for that because he had changed his mind and wrote Ifrona. So, yeah, that's about it. Charles Soule has some good comedy in this issue with C-3PO, which he's probably the best character to have comedy in Star Wars. He just has that perfect robotic one-liners that just kind of hit every time. Even in like Star Wars Rise of Skywalker, for people who hate that movie, whatever. But for C-3PO in that movie, he was awesome. He was the comedy relief that made everything that seemed wrong about the movie and was wrong with the movie a lot better. The illustrations done by Rosenberg and Rosanis I thought was awesome. The action in the beginning with the training and the no-look deflection from behind that Luke did, that was pretty nice touch to this issue. I think that the coloring of this comic as well was a nice touch, and the tones kind of matched the last issue of Star Wars, and even probably the War of the Bounty Hunters prelude as well. And so it matched with the continuity as well as kind of the flow of where we're going. Some theories that I should just say I hope for future issues would be that after this crossover comic series, like I was telling you, I hope that we go and explore all these Jedi outposts at some point in time. Not all of them, but at least some of the big ones. And I think that the action for this crossover event hasn't even really started yet. I mean, there's so much wildness to come, and I've I've read up to date, like War of the Bounty Hunters number 4, and even then we haven't really even got into the meat of it, and I think it's over like next month, so they better step up what's going to happen here. So that's all we got for today's coverage of the Hunt for Han Solo in Star Wars 13. Check out the next episode and review where we check out Bounty Hunters 12 and see what Valance and Dengar are up to. So tune in for that. Thank you, guys. Well, thank you guys for watching this episode of the Phantom Knights podcast. And as always, to become a Phantom Knight, why not follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok? And if you want to subscribe to our YouTube channel to get the video option of this podcast, do so as well. And we're also available on Apple and Spotify podcasts, as well as Google Podcasts and many more platforms for podcasting as well. So thank you guys, and may the Force be with you always.